What's up, folks? I'm very sorry that this is a pretty late video, but this is probably the fourth time I think I'm recording it because this was one of the harder videos to make, which kind of sounds goofy, but if you don't know me, Toy Story means a lot, and I've pretty much grown up with this series. I've seen every movie probably over 20 times, so every time I recorded this video, it was weird kind of talking about it because unfortunately I don't think this is the strongest Toy Story. I actually think it's the weakest. So I just want to put a blanket statement over this video right off the bat that no matter what I say, no matter the criticisms that I have, I still love this movie. I still recommend going to see it, and I'm gonna watch it a billion more times probably, even though it's not my favorite. So with that being said, and with you guys understanding that I love this movie and all of the others, let's just kind of get right into it. I think my biggest problem with this movie is the writing. Now, that sounds like a pretty big problem, but it's not really with the big emotional beats, because I think every single emotional scene that we had was really, really well written, and I think the performances were amazing, and the animation is out of this world. Like, it's literally insane. There are so many shots that look extremely photorealistic, and it's crazy to watch. It's really a blast. But I think besides the big emotional beats and the payoff in the end and all of that, everything else felt kind of weak. The newer characters that we got introduced to didn't really connect with me that well. Besides Duke Kaboom, I thought he was great. But everyone else, I keep saying this word, but they were just kind of weak, I guess. And another thing that was really unfortunate was we barely got to see any of the old toys from the first three movies, which I understand this is more of Woody's movie and it's kind of about him and his journey, but I would have expected to see at least a little more of the original characters that I grew up with. Instead, we don't really get much of that, and some of the original characters, like Buzz for example, isn't really written like Buzz. I feel like his writing was kind of weak and he didn't really seem like himself in this movie. Also, there wasn't a lot of Buzz and Woody on screen together, which was weird because the first three rely heavily on their relationship, and there's pretty much none of that in here, which is sad. But I also thought that the mesh of new characters and old characters wasn't really there. And I keep bringing it back to the third movie because that is my favorite out of the three, but only by a little bit. Just very, very small. I think the third one is the best, but it's like that did such a great job of keeping our old characters and showing us new characters and weaving them together and giving them relationships that mean something. But in this one, the new characters, their relationships and their purpose is sort of non-existent. It doesn't really mean much. Now I am going to talk about a spoiler real quick, and this will be the last part of the video, so if you haven't seen it yet or you don't want this movie spoiled for you, just click off right now, and thanks for watching. So, spoiler time. Gabby Gabby, her character as like a villain, I guess, or the antagonist, I thought was really weak. But after talking to my friend about it, he kind of told me like, yeah, I think it was better though, because especially coming off of 3 with Lotso, where he's just filled with like hate about not being played with, and Gabby Gabby just wants to be played with, and she's not really filled with hate. She doesn't really have any like malintent with the actions that she's doing. Again, they're negative actions because she literally wants to rip Woody's voice box out of him, but it's for a good reason, and in the end, like, it works out for her, and you get this like heartfelt scene for her, which I get that. And you know, after talking to him, it makes her character a little better, but still the lack of that sort of antagonist, it just feels like there's less suspense and less stakes at play in the story. So it made it kind of uneventful for me. Okay, so I know it seems like I didn't really like it, and I kind of bashed on it, and I bashed on a lot of the characters, but I do still really like this movie. I do still enjoy it. I think it does have flaws. I don't think it's the best, but like I said at the beginning of the video, if you like Toy Story, go see it. You're going to enjoy it. Just like me, you might have a couple issues with it, but you will enjoy it because the emotional beats and everything There's a lot of payoff. There's a lot of goodness to it as well. I think there are definitely more good parts than bad parts, but I just felt like I had to highlight the bad parts because that's how my brain works. I have to tell you what's wrong with it and then be like, hey, everything else is great though. So, you know, that's how I feel about Toy Story 4. Thank you guys so much for watching again. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. It means a lot. And if you haven't already subscribed, do that. Why not? It's free. I talk about movies. I talk about other stuff sometimes. So make sure to subscribe. And yes, ring that bell and live Moss.